Hello, everybody.
Hello.
How y'all
Hello.
doing this evening in Facebook land? I got some people. Wow, man, this is stuff. Um, I'm your host. Welcome to Paranormal Swamp Talk. I'm your host, Howard Petrie, the Water Boy, and we got the Listen Queen, Miss Chrissy Baggett. Tonight we're Scotty. I don't know what happened to Scotty. We're waiting to see what happens for him. Uh, Tonight we have uh, Dr. Heather Landon. She has her own show. Matter of fact, she was supposed to be on right now, but she canceled tonight. So I brought her on this show. So we said, the hell with it. We baking bread right now, baby. We're baking bread.
No,
Um,
Brian Maloney.
we're baking bologna.
Hmm.
uh, uh, Dr. Landon belongs to, she's on the board of directors for the Warren Legacy Foundation. She's the founder and host of Exploring the Paranormal. And she does a show. You still do Ghost at 101?
Yes, yeah, I still
Okay.
co-host it with Philip.
Okay. And then she is also the founder of Paranormal Exploration Paranormal. She has a bachelor degree, master, and a doctoral in metaphysical humanistic sciences, correct?
Yes,
And she studied. This is what I got my attention. You studied terrorism and counterterrorism in Florida.
I did at Florida Atlantic University. My undergraduate work was in the terrorism. I originally started at communications, which developed into government relations, and then it was the second Gulf War at the time I was in school, and I kind of just they actually that Florida Atlantic offered a counterterrorism degree.
And then, like, she ain't got enough shit to do. Then she goes out and she writes a book. Okay. haunted, haunted Southern Nevada Ghost Towns. And you can actually pre-order that now on Amazon.com.
Yep.
So we're gonna just talk about you a little bit, Heather. Uh, I just basically just gave almost your life story out there. Oh yeah, Chad. She did say Florida. Don't get all
Yep.
nipples all hard for that. Um,
I was
um,
gonna say if that's Chad, he's a friend of mine. He knows that. I saw him on another podcast. That's how we became friends.
okay. I'm sorry.
You just might not realize it's. You might not
We
realize
love
I'm the same
Chad.
person.
We
Said, are
love
you a
Chad.
cop?
Yeah, she's a cop. She's coming to bust you, buddy. So tell us a little, in your own words, tell us about Heather.
About me. Oh.
Mhm.
And what's funny, even though it doesn't look like it, or I hate talking about myself, so bear with me. I originally got interested in the paranormal field over 30 years ago when I started seeing images of my grandfather in the house or apparitions of my grandfather in the house. It was kind of interesting because he had never been to that house. We didn't even own that house when he was living. So that kind of back then in the late 80s, it was the only reason a place was haunted is because someone died there. Well, my grandfather didn't die there, so why was he haunting it? And that kind of started my whole interest and got the whole ball rolling. Um, Fast forward several years later, I continued researching the paranormal field, checked out every book I could. Every time we went on vacation, I went on every ghost hunt or every ghost tour that was available. Bought every book for that particular area. My favorite place to go was Gettysburg. Anytime I saw Mark Nesbitt, who did the Ghost of Gettysburg books, I made sure I stopped by and saw him and took his tour. Everything from Savannah, the whole East Coast. I've done as much research as I can on paranormal. Then we ended up moving to Nevada. And while in Nevada, I found a team because the entire time I've been researching, I really never found a team I wanted to be a part of because it was more or less just research for me.
Mhm.
And once I joined this team, I actually got a taste of what it was like to help people and actually conduct investigations. So from there, it developed into wow, I could really change how the field is run. And that's when I returned to the Institute of Metaphysical and Humanistic Studies to get my PhD in paranormal science. I learned a whole bunch of different ways, all the different aspects, spent hours upon hours of researching it. And I was lucky enough to be a work from home mom to begin with. So I had plenty of time to do more than what most people could in the field when it came to researching and dedicating my time. So from there, it continued developing. We just kind of stayed behind the scenes up until we received a call to be in a documentary, because I ended up leaving when COVID hit. I left the team I was a part of. Then we formed my own team, but because, of course, I don't want to investigate alone, my husband decided to say, let's form our own team. So it's my husband, my son, and myself. My son loves it. He has a blast doing it. And the producer called and said he wanted to have a family of paranormal investigators for a documentary. So what we ended up doing is we filmed in Goldfield, Gold Point, and Nelson. And I took that research from that documentary, and that's where I got the inspiration for my first book. And then from there, we ended up moving back to Florida, and I joined the Warren Foundation before we moved back to Florida, and everything just kind of snowballed from there.
So what do you do at the okay, look, there's a lot of questions. I guess with the book, you said it was an inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
The Goldfield Hotel.
Well, what it is we filmed. It was called Real Haunts Ghost Towns by Motion Picture Video, and it's on Tubi and Roku, I think, right now. It's free to stream, and they had us do a lot of research. I mean, they didn't have us do a lot of research. I did a lot of research because I don't like going in. If I do something or I say I'm going to do something, my OCD kicks in, and I'm all in. So, and I make sure it's done right. So we spent hours upon hours researching to make sure we had every minute detail about the places they were taking us to. And we did the Goldfield Cemetery. We kind of wandered around Goldfield. Then we did an investigation at Gold Point inside the saloon and by a hangman's noose. And then we went into a mine in Nelson, Nevada. And I figured, well, I had all this information for the documentary. I just typed it up in book form, sent it to the History Press. They loved it, and they're publishing it now.
Somebody asked where they could pre-order your book.
Last I checked, it is available on Amazon. It's Haunted Southern Nevada Ghost Towns, and you'll find it under Heather Leigh is the author name that I used. But also Barnes & Noble, Books A Million. Someone told me that they went to their local bookstore, privately owned bookstore, and they were able to order it there as well. And it's funny because I would have had the book here to show you guys, but they sent it to my old address. So now I'm waiting for it to get my friend told me, I have your books. And I'm like, oh, so now I'm just waiting for it to get rerouted to me.
Oh, look at it, Chad. I don't know where you lived in Florida.
We're actually in Lakeland right now. It's on I-4 between Tampa and Orlando, which if you live in Florida, you probably know that.
You said it was
Florida.
Sorry.
Right.
It was Haunted what?
The book is Haunted Southern Nevada Ghost Towns.
Okay.
So where you living at now? You living in Floridian or you living in Nevadian?
No, Florida. We were originally from Florida, but we moved to Nevada for work. My husband got transferred, and then he ended up working for the casinos because, of course, the casinos in Nevada pay better. And when COVID hit and everything shut down, we all started work from home jobs, and we figured it was time to get back to family.
So you live do you live in a panhandle or do you live in I call it the Sac?
Central South area. So we're just a little bit northeast of Tampa, but southwest of Orlando.
I think Chad lives I believe, around Jacksonville.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good 8-9 hours, I think, from here.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with Florida is you could be in the same state and it still take you 12 hours to get from one end to the other because it's such a long state.
I know you can do that in Louisiana. You can go from east to west and it doesn't take you but maybe 3.5 hours. But if you go from north to south, it takes you almost 9 hours.
Right.
It's like It's like that's a tall ass.
It, it is. It's like people are like, oh, and that's what we liked about living in Nevada. I mean, it was a shame that it was so far away from family, but living in Las Vegas, we were 2 to 4 hours from everything. You know, we were 4 hours from LA, 3 hours from Goldfield. You know, it was like, 4 hours from, the Grand Canyon. It was like everything was like right there. It was so nice.
Area 51, and you had all that shit
Yes.
going on, right?
Yeah, that was about 3 hours away, I think.
I'm talking.
Haunted Southern Nevada Ghost Towns, and it is on Amazon.
Yes.
But yeah, we have Gulf Breeze right there too now.
Yeah.
That's a UFO hotspot because I passed right through there to go see my stepdaughter.
Mm-hmm.
She lives in Santa Rosa Beach.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. No, Florida, I think, has more ghost stories than Nevada ever did, even though, because when I did research, because I'm continuing to write more books for the History Press, I have 2 more coming out next year that I've already signed contracts for. And when I did research on Florida ghost towns, there's 260 ghost towns in the state of Florida.
I'm surprised that you haven't started doing anything like with the Bermuda Triangle because that's right off the coast right there.
It's on my list.
I'm fascinated with that. I love the Bermuda Triangle. I can't get enough of that stuff.
Yeah, we have. That's where our family is. It's on the East Coast, and we're about 2 hours away. It was a quick move we decided to do all of a sudden, and this was the most affordable place, and also the place that had openings at the time.
And then you have pirates. All the pirates. Yeah, yes. I mean, a lot of ghost ships and things of that nature. Yeah, I mean that's the whole. I mean that's over there on the East Coast and the Gulf of Mexico. I mean that's just craziness with pirates and stuff like that. So I mean, I'd love to hear that kind of stuff with Jean Lafitte.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I think it was the year 1718, but 3 Spanish galleon ships sunk just off the coast of Vero Beach, and that's where my parents live. And Mel Fisher's museum is there. He's the one who founded it. And has recovered a lot of the treasure there. And his museum is one of the most haunted locations on the East Coast.
Do you ever go stake it out?
Yeah. Oh, trust me, I will. I've been there several times, and you can tell something's there, but I haven't really investigated it. So we're in the process of trying to get in.
Chad says you don't have to worry about as much as hurricanes where you live.
No, not yet.
That's like the driveway where they just come riding right on through there. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, exactly. They're weak by the time they get to us.
That's not a bad thing.
No, because I lived in Vero Beach and the Sebastian area, which is right on the East Coast. And it can be there when they had in 2004, they had the 3 hurricanes back to back in 3 weeks. And each time we'd evacuate, we'd come back home. And then because they were all strong hurricanes and my son was only 6 months old. So I wasn't going to be home without power.
Right.
So that was awful.
Was it last year, the year before last? We had 4 of them that hit us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just back, it was like, they were taking turns. It was one would hit one side. They just, yeah, look at this crazy. Oh, and today they finally arrested they from Hurricane Ida. When we had all that stuff. I went without electricity for 14 days. I slept on my porch for 14 days. No electricity, no water, no nothing. And they took all the old folks out of the nursing homes and they put them in like a metal shed. It was like a dozen freaking nursing homes, and there was one owner that owned all these nursing homes, and he just stuck them all in this hot shed, killed a lot of these people off and everything. So they finally got him on federal charges now. So good thing. I mean, that's what the federal government's doing. The state never did follow through with it for some reason, but they finally started prosecuting this guy. And if he gets one charge, I mean, it's 1 year without possibility for parole or anything. And I think he spent like $500,000 just for his release for his
bond.
It was more than that, but he had to come up with $500,000 out of his pocket just to get out of jail.
Takes
Be
all
careful
that.
to have all that kind of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, all those poor old people died because of that kind of crap. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that's what makes good ghost stories eventually. You know, I mean, that's the sad part. You know, it's tragedy. Always something tragic. Um, Tell us about the Warren legacy.
Yeah.
Well, it was founded in 2014 by Lorraine Warren and her grandson, Chris McKinnell. And Chris McKinnell is still the director of the foundation. I actually work closely side by side with him. I basically talk to him more than I don't want to say more than I'd like to because in case he's watching. But I talk to him throughout the whole day. We're carrying on the legacy of Ed and Lorraine Warren. Lorraine wanted to, in addition to NESPR, she wanted to create a foundation that handled cases worldwide. NESPR, which is currently run by Tony Sparrow, they handle cases in New England, where the Warren Legacy Foundation, we're worldwide. We just announced organization, we've created a sub-organization for Spanish speakers. So if you speak Spanish, just part-time, or as a second language, or if that's your only language, we do have that area, and that's run by one of our directors who is bilingual. And we also just created a UFO division. I can't remember the whole name of it, but it's extraterrestrial and something else. We're making those huge, and we just made the announcements to our team. I just haven't had a chance to post it on Facebook. But when it comes to helping people, we want to help them with not just paranormal activity. About 90% of our cases in the last couple months has been mostly psychological. We help the clients that come to us realize that what they're experiencing isn't anything to be afraid of. We're there to help them. And our method of helping them is either helping coax them to get the psychological help they need, or, and find out if, there's medical conditions and underlying conditions. It's more than just, oh, you have paranormal activity, we're going to come in and do an investigation. We want to know everything about our client. We want to know if there are psychological conditions that could be opening them up to paranormal activity. So we handle all of that. We also, if needed, if we deem it necessary, we do go in and do the investigation, determine what's there. If we do determine they need a cleansing, we have plenty of people who can do cleansings. We have several priests, pastors, and exorcists in the foundation. We also have medical doctors that we consult with that are members of the foundation. It's amazing network. We're able to, if one person doesn't know something, chances are with almost 100 members that we have right now, someone in the foundation knows.
Well, I was going to join about 2 years ago. I was going to put our team up for it. I think I talked to, what was his name? The grandson?
Chris.
Chris. Yeah, I sent him an email and I sent him a Facebook message. He said, well, just do this. And to me, it sounded kind of like fishy at first, because it was like some of the things he wanted to know and you can only do things that only the foundation would allow you to do. And I was like, I can't do that. I mean,
right.
that was the only drawback. That was my only drawback.
Right. No, and I get that. We do have a strict code of ethics. And it's more or less along the lines of, we're, a national or worldwide organization. We are representing his grandparents' legacy. Right. And we have, since there's been some major, in the last year and a half, almost a year and a half, there's been some major leadership changes, because recently we've completely rechanged how we do the U.S. We actually have 5 different regions in the U.S. with regional directors. We've now created an administrative team, which is myself and 3 other people. And I'm the chief administrative officer, so I handle 90% of the day-to-day items, along with Chris's daughter. She helps me with a lot of it, but then we do have assistants that help. But when it comes to our bylaws and code of ethics, we don't really promote paranormal tourism, but not so much in the aspect of doing these events. We just want to make sure that people aren't promoting going to abandoned locations and doing urban exploration. We want to make sure that people aren't going to an event, or like setting up an event at a location that they know there's a demon there and that demon can cause harm to the guests that show up.
Who the hell would want to do that in the first place? I mean, that's kind of stupid.
People do. About a majority of our cases that we do are from people who've attended events and come to us saying, this is what happened at the event, and since I attended the event, this is what's happening to me. Their lives are completely turned upside down because the event wasn't handled properly. People who also, we just want to make sure our teams conduct themselves in a professional manner, because one case that we're working on right now, we're picking up the pieces essentially of another team. The lady shared us photos. She was told by another team that she's being haunted by a demon. She's being terrorized by a demon. And when we interviewed her, yeah, she could have paranormal activity because, you know, we don't say that you can't be, just because you have a psychological disorder, that's not dismissing your paranormal activity. But because she had that psychological disorder, when that team came in and said, oh, yes, you have X, Y, and Z in your home, and they're never going to let you live your life alone. And then they also faked evidence because the lady shared photos with us. And upon further investigation and analyzing of the photos were photoshopped. And so we're there to ensure that our team members don't do stuff like that. That's why Chris has that strict code of ethics.
So when you come across cases like that, which is beyond frustrating, do you reach out to the teams that fake the evidence, or do you just let that go?
We pretty much let it go because Chris wants to be bigger. As much as we would love to call out these teams, because we know who they are.
Sure.
It's one of
I'm
those
one
things
of them.
where
Shut up, Howard.
I wasn't going to tell anyone. Why'd you have to tell everyone?
That's publicity, babe.
It's one of those we don't want to give them more publicity in that aspect by calling them out. We want to be the bigger people. We also, in order to combat that, our ultimate goal is to educate, which is why we are in the process of, we have the Warren Files that goes live every other week on Wednesday nights. To educate, we have different topics every week and different members, regional directors. Chris sometimes comes on and talks. Then we also are working on, Chris and I are teaching classes with Truckee TMCC College out of Reno. We're teaching online classes later this year. We are also partnered with Flumery Promotions, and we will be partnering with their talent to do events. And the events that we'll be doing with them is more than just the investigation. We're going to be having lecture series during the day and then the investigation at night.
I want to
So our
probably
goal
get
is
with
to
you then.
educate.
I might want to get with you then because next year, Stephen and I have been talking about it, and I'm going to try to set it up. I need some help though, but set up a Paracon or Fear Fest in New Orleans in 2023.
We were actually in the process of doing an event or trying to do an event in New Orleans, but we were running into logistical issues because
Like
we're not big enough to handle that because we don't have anyone in New Orleans. And also the main issue we were running into is the foundation. We run completely nonprofit, but our bank account is like zero. We couldn't afford to pay the deposit that these
we'll talk
are.
about that. We'll talk about that because there's things you can do and talk.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do. Seriously, I want to. But
Right.
We'll partner up
and
and see about that.
yeah, and we could also, I could talk to Ray with Flumery about it as well, because we were in the like I said, we were in the process of doing it, but there were some issues that we came across, so we put that on the back burner, and we were gonna do smaller events first.
I'm looking at something big. Buyout. I mean, we're going to. I want to do it in October. I mean, that's New Orleans is. I even go by even with Jack Osborne and say a lot of people say that the city of New Orleans is probably the most haunted city in the United States, but nobody recognizes that, and they always say, "Well, oh no, it's this city." They always want to say it's their city, that city. There's not a stone you can't kick in the yard in Louisiana that doesn't have a story behind it. I mean, everything has some kind of story behind. Something's always attached to it, or haunted, or there's something going on with it. I mean, heck, my own house is haunted. I mean,
I don't let the ghost in my house. They
I
know
got
better.
I got a portal yard. I mean, I was doing just like we're doing now. We was doing a live, Heather, and a freaking entity formed right here.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even know about it. I'm doing the show, and everybody's sending me pictures. Hey, look at this thing. You know, this thing's forming up next to you. I'm like, what? It freaked me out. But this place. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of things we could do. I mean, I have some ideas. Where you going now, woman?
Always yelling at your wife. Good gravy. Howard, listen.
I'm supposed to. That's my job.
No. You're supposed to love her.
I do. In my own special twisted way.
That's for darn sure.
And when we got married, I was even asking questions on the altar. You sure about all this?
I was there. I remember.
Oh, now we got to go see the grandbaby tomorrow. Yay. Baby watch is over. Yay. But yeah, I can help you out with that. I mean, that'd be great. We can work together on something like that. That'd be awesome. Mm-hmm. What are you doing now?
At least she's not running around behind you with a sheet on pretending to be a ghost.
Oh, Lord.
She would scare herself. Literally.
Ricky's comment, Jackie!
Jackie! See if Ricky wants to come in.
Ricky, you want to come on?
Oh, here you go. This is something for Dr. Heather. Do people have interest in studying more people like me?
Yeah, I focus more on the science aspect of it, but I do know when it comes to the parapsychology side of it that there are a lot of different experiments out there and different locations that you can go to get research on different tests. I know the Rhine Institute does a lot of different testing on it. When it comes to my aspect of the paranormal, I focus more on what's causing the activity. So unfortunately, I don't have a lot of information to offer on that. But if you go to the Institute of Metaphysical and Humanistic Science, they're based out of here in Florida, and they offer parapsychology degrees and PhDs. And some of the classes I did take in parapsychology, and they offer a whole bunch of different suggestions on what to do, different experiments you can do, and the true meaning of parapsychology. And it was very interesting.
Is those online? You can take those online classes, or you have to be there?
100% online.
Yeah, it's just like we wanted to get back and go back a little bit. You said the Warren Foundation, what they do is they want to get people in that want to, who's going to be out there, who's going to be professional about it and do what they're supposed. I mean, to me, there's no such thing as a professional paranormal investigator. They're all amateurs. We're all amateurs. We're all learning this field. But the one thing I always practice, and we'll do a lot of lives on Saturday nights. We'll go on and so when we go to like residentials, of course you got to get permission of the people there to see if they allow you to film their house. Also cemeteries, historical sites, and things of that nature. And I've always treated spirit with respect and love. I mean, I don't go in there and I'm not Zach Baggins. I'm not going to go in there and just start bashing somebody or anything like that. Because these were people too at one time. And you show them respect. I mean, if they, that's the way I was brought up. You show someone respect, you get respect. Mm-hmm. But that's when I'm doing my investigating and stuff. Now, when I'm doing my podcast, in other words, I'm just
No
It's a
rules,
free for all.
regulations, or filter, Heather. This is
No
actually pretty
problem.
calm for any of Howard's shows. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm trying to keep, give her respect because she is a doctor.
Nothing
Now,
wrong with that.
and lock
And
my
it is
ass up.
funny because it's not so much that we're looking for professional paranormal researchers. We're looking for people who carry themselves in a professional manner. We view it I mean, I think I take it a little bit more serious than some people in the foundation because even though it's still 100% volunteer, I probably put in 40 to 50 hours a week making
That's a
sure the
lot.
foundation runs. Yeah. But the foundation runs, and but Chris wants to, his ultimate goal is to not be the only face of the foundation. Even though it's his family's legacy, he believes that the foundation wouldn't be what it is today without all of our members. So he wants to make sure everybody carries themselves in a professional manner so that way we can all be the face of the foundation.
Oh, and the
Sure.
Facebook user that's on here, that's going to be Sonia L. Perez. I don't know if anybody knew her or anything, but that's who's asking those questions about.
She said it's her first time here at the beginning of the show.
Or did she?
Yeah.
This is calm, Sonia. This is very soothing. You're tranquil.
Oh, Sonia, if only you knew. We warned Heather at the beginning before the show even launched that she may need to break out the sage and something else for Howard.
This is an NC-17 rated show.
You need to have that rolling on the bottom.
Oh, I should do. Let me see. I got
He
that.
does.
Yeah, I do have that.
You didn't have the
I was
ticker
just
up?
kidding.
I forgot to put the freaking
Now
ticker
we do
up.
have it.
There we go.
There we go.
There it is. Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Chad. This is really calm. I'm tired. That's why, man. I'm just freaking tired. It's hot,
I bring out the
man.
best in people.
It's just hot. It's hot. It was
Oh,
107 today.
We got to 91, so it wasn't too bad.
She says, I've been a paranormal investigator since I was 16. I'm 29, and I love every minute of it. Well, that's awesome. Because I mean, matter of fact, I got some young ladies who are actually younger than you started. Uh,
the
that
ghost
they
girl.
call me, they call me Uncle Howard. It's the Ghosty Girls. Matter of fact, they coming to see Uncle Howard. It's supposed to be either the end of this month or next month.
Good.
Yeah, spend some time with Uncle Howard and drag him through some graveyards and stuff.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I know my son was thrown into it, but he loves it. Just before, it was only a couple months before he turned 15.
I think they were what 7 and 9 when they started.
Now, are
Yeah,
there
As long as they have the proper mentor, everything, because everybody's like, how could you have your son do that? I'm like, I make sure he does it right.
Well, and that's what I was fixing to say. So my kids do it too. But are there locations that you won't take him to?
Before he just turned 18. So before he turned 18, I would not take him on residentials. And that was more for a safety matter because we didn't know whose home we were walking into.
Sure.
We wanted to make sure he was safe in that aspect. But at that age, I mean, he was going into mines with us, exploring museums, and he was just going everywhere. Everywhere that we went that was a public location that we had permission to go to.
Okay. Oh, Arlene, my sister.
Yeah, backdoor paranormal.
Back row paranormal, sir.
Backdoor paranormal.
Get it together. Oh, Lord.
We love her though. She's special.
Yes, she is. I can't wait to start going places here.
It's her again. My daughter is starting. She's about 7, and I'm just trying to slowly. Ooh, that was. Hey, Kyle, how you doing, brother?
Hey, Kyle. Oh,
Hey,
Eileen.
that's your sister. That's
Listen.
your sister. Your
Here,
sister.
I was taking up for you. I'm gonna need y'all to knock it off right now.
OJ gets kind of.
Listen, Eileen, I got a car. I got another car. I'm no
Puts
longer
quarters in it.
something. Huh?
You put quarters in it to start it, right?
Oh my gosh. Listen, Heather, I already had two cars, but we were T-boned 2.5 weeks ago. And
We
they
don't want to hear
told
about your sex life.
they would I'm not talking about my sex life. So I've been car shopping and it was a nightmare. I hate car shopping. I hate shopping in general. Oh, I finally got one today and I was so happy. So happy. That's
Oh,
that's
that's
what
what
I
you.
get for what? I didn't ghost you. Listen, Jason has to be at work at 3:30. I get him up at 3:30 in the morning. I take him to work and then I have to come home. That's an hour and a half. And then I go back to bed, but I don't even get in the bed until usually 1 a.m. So I'm going on 2 hours of sleep at that point. And then I get home and I go to sleep. What I try to sleep for another 2 or 3 hours, but my loving friends keep calling me, waking me up, knowing that I had zero sleep and I'm trying to find cars. Now I have a car, so now you can call me. But don't call
You
me
know
at
you can
7
put your
a.m.
phone on mute at night.
I would, but then my alarm won't go off.
True.
And I gotta wake him up because we
Yeah,
were down
that's
in
what,
one car.
yeah, that's what everybody says to me when I'm like, oh, my phone was going off all night and I couldn't sleep. They're like, you can mute your phone at night.
I have not called you, ma'am.
Well, I know you haven't, but Eileen has. And my friend Monica in Tennessee has.
She divorced you.
She didn't divorce me. She
She wrote
can't
it right
divorce
there.
me. I don't care what she wrote. Listen, you can't divorce me even if you had legal documentation of it, ma'am. Just stop it. You know you love me. She's always got an excuse. Well, listen. Okay.
Oh hell no!
You don't have my phone number, Chad. Okay, Eileen, you let Howard be your new bestie.
Oh, it ain't happening. That's not happening.
You go for it. I bet you he'll be fun at the daiquiri shacks. I'm just saying. Oh, you wait till I move down there. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I'll get her so lit up. I'll throw peanuts at her. She's laying on the floor. I'll just throw peanuts. That's all I do.
Oh my goodness.
See, aren't you having a good time there, Heather?
That's definitely a change from what I normally do.
We just starting to get it cranked now. I mean,
this ain't nothing. This ain't nothing. Oh Lord.
by the end of the night, somebody's either going to the hospital or going to jail. One of the two. Something's happening.
Maybe both. Maybe both. Oh goodness. So when you're talking about investigating, so do you have like a favorite state or location that stands out in your mind that you enjoyed investigating or would call your favorite, I guess?
Picking your favorite paranormal location is like picking your favorite child. It is how I tell people. But one place that outside Gettysburg, I do have to say, is one of my most favorite places to go because I've had many memorable experiences there. But as far as my favorite place to actually dig deep, dive in, and investigate, it's a mine up in Goldfield called the Florence Mine. And we actually, the team that I had been on, we were invited up to film a TV pilot for a TV series that they were hoping to do, but unfortunately that got shelved by COVID. And we actually investigated the whole property, the hoist house, the actual mill, and we actually went down into the mines. And there was like, it was nonstop experience before we ever even started investigating.
Wow.
I seen that they had a sci-fi show at one time. It was called Ghost Mines, and
Mhm.
I was surprised that these old mines would have, of course, Tommy knockers and stuff. I've known about that.
Yep.
And you figure that's just wherever you're digging, that's the shale or whatever the rock is breaking somewhere in the cave, and you might get that Tommy knocker sound. But it was like on that show, they were talking about how they brought in Chinese laborers,
Mhm.
and so many of them died, and they were just buried, and it was a crazy thing, and it was just spread throughout the whole town, not just the mine, but it was throughout the whole town. And I think that was a pretty good show at one point. But
Right. Well, what was
uh,
interesting about this location, it was located in the heart of what they call the Nevada Triangle. So it's basically a location where, similar to the Bermuda Triangle and the Alaska Triangle, where a lot of planes have disappeared, planes have malfunctions, and they basically theorize that it's all the minerals and silver and gold that's in the ground that actually increases the paranormal activity throughout that area. And the mine we investigated was collapsed. So I ended up crawling all the way back to the collapsed section. And I don't want to, because I really don't say I have psychic abilities, but a lot of other people say I do. But while I was back there, I couldn't breathe. I felt like I was being crushed. I started crying, and then I started hearing the screams of men yelling. And from what we understand, it had collapsed while people were in there working.
Wow.
But once they got me out of there, I was perfectly fine.
see me, to me, with the psychic ability thing, there are people out there that, and there's a short list with me, because I don't believe in it. I don't. Um, and they prove to me where they know some shit, and I'm like, you must be the devil or something going on with you. So I have to exercise one of y'all.
You ain't got to be the devil to have abilities,
They
Howard.
go, I was, hey,
Listen.
they telling me I'm what a psychic empath,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't see it. I said my psychic abilities are limited to where Howard's hungry and he goes to the refrigerator.
He's full of crap, Heather. He's full of crap.
Ooh,
I am not the devil, ma'am. You take that back.
you read like the devil.
Listen, I don't even think I have him sit. I'm gonna have to find him. I got some devil horns somewhere. It went with a costume. They light up. Oh, I got him at DeadCon.
So what you're known as a doctor, and you are a paranormal investigator, and you of course you have your own team. That's
Right.
because
Yeah, I pretty much refer to myself as a paranormal researcher,
okay.
because even though I do go on investigations, a lot of my work is behind the scenes researching.
That's a lot of it. I mean, if you want to become a paranormal investigator there's a lot of research. I mean, that's the only thing. That's 9 times you're spending about 90% of your time researching a project, rather, then you do that 10% of that's actually getting out there and doing it, and that's
But
when
you would
it's
be
fun.
surprised. You'd be surprised. I've run into several people who still want to say they're paranormal investigators, but they don't do any research going into the location. They don't do any research after the location. And some of them don't even listen to their evidence they collected. To me, that's a paranormal tourist.
You might want to delete that.
Should I keep my glasses on all the time?
That YouTube.
Yeah. Listen, they're talking to you. You want to see his cucumber?
No, I don't want to see his cucumber.
Pull
Don't
that thing out. Let's see that little gherkin.
No, my cucumber's up there in bed. He's sleeping right now. Lord Jesus, take the wheel. There's another one.
I'll just keep my glasses off so I can't read.
All right.
So my thing is so when I go into a location, so I'm on a team. Eventually I will be on Howard's team when I transition further south, but I don't do any research. Now I have a team member. I do have a team member that does do thorough research before we go to places. But I like to go into a location blind because I don't want anything to skew what I feel, see, or hear. After we've investigated, then they will tell me the history or things if I was right and I hit on things, but they don't tell me before because I don't want to know.
Right.
Now, if we're in a
location
that it could be dangerous for me, they will tell me those things. But other than that, I don't want to know.
Right, but you have someone on your team doing the research.
Correct.
And I've actually come across teams where nobody does research.
Oh, wow.
And, you want the psychics or those who get impressions to go in blind.
Right.
Just because you want to be able to get true readings. We actually don't even, when it comes to having a psychic come with us, we don't even tell them the address that they need to go to. We go pick them up.
Right.
Because we don't even want to have the glimpse of
wait.
the address.
Isn't that called kidnapping?
Yes.
I mean, that's fun. Let's go.
Right.
I got a team member who will roll up and he will literally roll up in front of my house, honk the horn and say, "You got less than 5 minutes. Let's go."
Yep.
And I mean, I always have a backpack ready because I never know when he's going to roll up.
Yeah. And that's the perfect way to do it. But at least someone on your team is researching it to know, is the team safe going in? Is this a place that you can go in? And almost, you don't really want to have an idea of what to expect. But if someone on the team has an idea of what to expect, then they know it's not a dangerous location.
Correct.
But I've come across teams that don't do any research whatsoever. I mean, like none. They don't even know when the building was built.
Yeah,
is how little they know about the location. You don't have to research paranormal accounts at the location, but you need to know what the building was used for, when it was built, who has resided in the location. There's so many things that you need to know to help conduct thorough research. And it not only gives you an idea of what questions to ask when you do EVP sessions, but it also gives you an idea of who could be haunting the location.
Exactly.
You said, I hate to say this, I really do. I mean, it's because it's where Eileen's from. But you said you like Gettysburg. Have you ever tried researching or investigating Vicksburg, Mississippi?
No, I haven't. No,
that
but
place
it would be
you can feel it. You can actually feel it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's thick. It's thick.
Right. Yeah,
I know New Orleans.
Growing up, my family was really big into studying the Civil War. And that's how I've done Williamsburg, Gettysburg, Savannah. I just never got over to Vicksburg.
And Eileen, I saw that, ma'am. Just because I said I was going to be on Howard's team doesn't mean I can't assist and investigate with you too. But you did say you were divorcing me. So there's that.
And you run out of batteries.
Listen, I have the big jumbo 24 packs of AA, AAA, C, and D. 9-volt. I don't have so many of those, but I don't have too much equipment that runs on that. She said, nope, divorced. Listen.
Oh, that's true, because we don't allow. She invited me one time to Mississippi, and I couldn't make it. And that was the only time she's ever invited me to any investigations up that way.
She'll invite you when I'm down there. You know that.
Yeah, but when you're down here, this they've already gone. No. Right there at that corner when we was walking where the Voodoo Authentica was at.
Yeah.
Right there, they had a big building that was right there. Big house.
On the corner?
Yeah, it was going back towards the city itself, towards the port.
Yeah.
That's the Sultan's Palace.
Yeah. Listen, that whole the whole time we were in the French Quarters, I was overwhelmed. It just made me so damn moody. And even Beth Allen, once we left there, Eileen called Beth because I was in a mood that really wasn't my own mood. And Eileen knew something was wrong. And Beth knew the moment she saw me on video chat. So Howard, how many daiquiris? Oh, Lord. Listen. Shut up, Chad. Just shut up. We're talking about the French Quarters. And not even just the French Quarters, all of New Orleans. I'm just saying. We had to run the crackheads off the abandoned.
When I went there, forgot you out. She's a bright one.
She's what?
She's a bright one. She left. She go to the store. She said she comes back. I forgot my wallet.
I hate when that happens.
I was gonna say, I thought I was the only one who did that.
Yeah, she keeps me occupied. That's for sure.
Eileen said that they had to run crackheads off at the abandoned hospital.
She had to run her kinfolk off.
Oh, and you want to marry him? Okay, Eileen. He's your new bestie. I got you. I got you. Oh, Lord. I can't.
We love you, Eileen.
They said they came from Howard's house.
They probably did.
They're probably his kinfolk.
And probably you sent them down here.
Just saying. Just saying. So then you said you created your own team, Heather. So was it because you said because of COVID or after COVID? Was it because you just didn't want to risk getting sick, or you just it's easier to investigate with just family, or
A bunch of different things. COVID had nothing to do with it. Well, COVID had something to do with it in the aspect of our team wasn't doing stuff.
okay.
And even though we still weren't really going out and doing much ourselves when we created our own team, it was a lot of research and just kind of going out and, going to the places we could go to. Like one of the best things about COVID is the strip was empty because all the casinos were shut down.
Gotcha.
So it was so quiet there. It was so nice. And we would do things like that. But the team that I was on, and I'm still friends with a lot of them, they just weren't going in the same direction I wanted to go in. I wanted to take a more scientific approach, and they were more, let's go in, let's conduct our EVP session, and let's go home. There
So
was
like
no
you was
script.
looking, you like going towards like with John Griffin second with you and I. He's more the scientific type person. He loves to do it. He likes to do experiments.
Right. Yep. And I like doing I like testing out non-tech tools. Those are my favorite things to play around with. Like right now I'm working on fidget spinners and having fun with that. I use crystal balls is one experiment that I'm working on right now. And I'm testing out using the night vision camera, focus through the crystal ball to see if it picks up on anything in the background. And
Gotcha.
using that almost as like a wavelength that we could pick up and see if it enhances seeing the spirits. I use the Eddie Plus. And one thing, when people ask me how can they be more scientific or learn how to, it's all about practice. You got to practice and implement it and keep doing it. So what I tell people to get in the habit of being more scientific is take your Eddie Plus, set it outside, same place, same location, same time every day, even if it's from 7 to 7:30. And, mark an X on your patio table or something so you know exactly where to put it. But then also document the moon phase, the temperature, the weather, wind speed, if there's any geometric activity or geothermal activity happening in the area, seismic activity happening in the area. And then you can chart that course. And it kind of gives us, that's the perfect way to help determine if the full moon affects EMF readings. Or does temperature affect EMF? As temperature goes up, does EMF go up or down? And
So
this kind of
I did
gives
find out
people,
from John Griffin that when you use the more humidity that's in the air, the better EVPs come out.
yep. And that's what doing these little side experiments do to help, because then okay, we have high humidity today, we better do an EVP session.
Mhm.
Or it's a full moon, let's do this experiment because this experiment works better with the full moon.
Mhm.
So that's what I was fixing to ask. So what do you think the correlation is between full moon and specific paranormal activity? Do you think there's a tie, or do you have research that shows a tie, or no?
I'm still torn on that. I do believe that it's more or less, I personally believe that a lot of people believe the full moon increases activity, just like a lot of people say the full moon causes everybody to be crazy. Whether it's true or not, there's no real actual proof on that. Yeah, it does tend to be coincidental that it happens on that, but does it happen on the full moon? Because we've been told that for so many centuries, now we're self-manifesting the odd activity on the full moon.
Now, when I was in law enforcement, that's when it was always craziest on the
The
full moon.
crazies come out.
Yep. Yeah, and that's what they. I was in my pre-op surgical appointment, and the nurse was like, she goes, "Oh my goodness, I cannot wait till the full moon is done," because the appointment was during the full moon. She's like, "It has just been crazy," and this was not even in the emergency room. This was the orthopedic,
Mhm.
surgery center.
Mhm.
And for them to be crazy, it was interesting to hear her say that.
Definitely. I worked in a hospital years and years ago in respiratory therapy as a respiratory therapist assistant, and it seemed like every time it was a full moon, it was nonstop. People coming in and out of the hospital, and not just ER, like the main floors. People were coding, and you had so much more activity. And if they're in the hospital and they're sick already, they're not going to know that it's a full moon. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. And that's where more of these experiments need to be done so we can have that proof. And we're never going to get the proof until we do the smaller experiments first.
Sure.
It's all about baby steps. It's like when you set, goals. You can have a big goal that, I want to make $1 million, but what are you going to do to get there? What are you going to do first? So when it comes to, let's say, does the full moon affect paranormal activity? Well, first you need to determine if the full moon affects EMF.
Right.
Does that really affect EMF? And does EMF then from there, does higher EMF fuel paranormal activity?
Wedding stuff for who? Who's getting married? And I still love you, even though you said you're divorcing me. You know you're going to call me. Oh, you miss seeing my face. Christy's, no. Although it's funny you say that, Chad, because there was a song that came on the radio and it was talking about a couple who was people was talking about the couple and talking about them getting married and running rumors about it. And then the song basically says that they're going to make the rumors true. And I looked at Jason and I said, well, gee, what if we made the rumors true and just didn't tell anybody and just went and did it? And he just smiled. I said, everybody would be mad, probably.
You save a ton of money.
Yeah, I have to find a new wife. Oh, Lord. Stop it. Oh, your nephew's getting married? Oh. Full moon affects all kinds of stuff. Tides, earthquakes, storms, auras. Yeah, I agree, Chad.
I'm just rolling with it. Go ahead.
Shut up, Howard. She's thinking about it now. See? She's got wedding fever. Listen. I don't have it out the ass. Okay? Listen, my brother, well, I did Howard's wedding and then I did my brother's wedding Sunday on my birthday. So I've attended 2 weddings in the past month. Jeez. You people in your spring summer weddings. Oh goodness.
That's why you elope.
That's what I'm saying. That's what the song was saying. I said, but everybody be pissed off. But you know, it is
I
what it
wanted a
is.
small. I wanted a small wedding, and it turned out to be small. But it was made to have a lot of people show up, and a lot of people had to cancel and stuff because you had a couple of things that was happening at the time, and then the biggest thing was gas prices was shot up out of nowhere.
They
Then you
still
had
are.
and then you had Waverly Hills. They had a thing out there. So I'd rather people had went to Waverly Hills and saved that site. You know, that place. That's a historical site that needs to be saved. So yeah, I mean, I can understand that, but I wanted a small wedding. I was going to show up with a thong,
Oh my god.
some flip flops. You know,
He forgot his
I,
nipple tassels. He had
I
nipple tassels he was gonna wear, Heather. He forgot him though. He
was in a
forgot him at
rush.
home.
I was in a rush. I was in a rush.
She's like, what'd I get myself into?
No, I was thinking, I'm glad my show's on Wednesday, so I don't have to do this again. No, I'm just kidding. Just
Oh,
joking back.
that's funny.
That is so messed up. God,
Oh, Lord have mercy.
man, I love your show. I
I'm
watch
just
it.
picking on you.
Look at Howard. He's a little butthurt.
I would never have said yes
That
if I
hurt
didn't
my
want to do
feelings.
it. So,
That made me cry a little bit.
Oh, shut up. No, it didn't.
no, now he's just going to get raunchier.
Probably.
I'm just
Probably
gonna
so.
sit back. I don't get that much.
You're
Y'all the
gonna
ones that get raunchy. Y'all the ones that get raunchy. I just. Oh my lord!
I don't know what you're talking about.
I come up with a topic and it goes. We stay on that topic for about what
5 minutes.
8 minutes at the max.
It never, I mean, listen, I tried to keep it on topic. And every time I'd stop talking just for a second, you would say something that would spark a whole nother conversation that had nothing to do with the topic. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So you're just as guilty, sir.
I try to go back to the topic.
Oh, listen. No, you
And
don't. You
when I run
spin
my
it.
show, if my guests get off topic, I go in and I mute them.
You what?
I go in and mute them.
Oh.
I've actually joked with Chris several times. I've muted him because he just starts going off.
Oh my.
Now I'm going to get muted, so you know.
Yes, Chrissy, you bring it back around sometimes. Who's Facebook user?
Yeah,
Even the
I like what the cat said.
Oh, listen, we're not even going to talk about that, Chad. You can just no. I ain't having it. I ain't having it.
But that's Joanne. That's Joanne.
Okay. See, I knew she'd take up for me.
You serious? You mute your guests and your hosts if they go off topic?
We have fun with it. I'll be like, you guys are all off topic, and then click. Or if someone's talking too much, I'll be like, does anyone else want to speak? Because I can mute them.
Oh my gosh.
So we
I've
don't
had
do
that
as
happen to
as
me.
you guys do, but we have fun. We have fun too in our own way.
I've had that happen to me. One time. Somebody muted me.
Well,
And I was with another network. And they muted me. So I proceeded, since I couldn't talk, so I went with visual effects. Just say it.
I didn't need.
Let's say there was a full moon out that day.
So in other words, you got to take his camera and his voice away, Heather.
Mhm.
Oh, Lord. You're right, Chad. You would be muted. You do talk too much. Yes, you do. But we still love you. He does, Howard. Shoot. When he gets on a rant, he won't shut up. I'm just
That's what
saying.
makes our show so special.
I know. I wish I had a mute button sometimes, though. I'm just saying.
We've then talked about everything, Heather. We're pretty much staying on topic, and an audience will drag us off in another direction. I'm like a fat kid in the candy store that has ADHD and didn't take Adderall, and I'm all over the place. I mean, that's how I am. I'll just go with it.
It happens. It happens a lot, because especially on the Warren Files, because we have Chris, and then we also have Joe Frankie, who work close with Ed and Lorraine Warren. We'll have a specific topic, but everybody in the comments wants to know about Amityville, Conjuring. And it's like, no, our topic's this.
Right.
But you got to give what the audience wants. I get it. No.
No, we just go with it. We derail 5,001 times every show, every time. And that's what makes our shows unique.
That's why we bake bologna.
Oh,
We don't
Lord.
fry it, we bake that shit.
No, we fry it. You bake it. Lord have mercy. I can't.
It's not that much cholesterol if you bake it.
Oh, there's no difference. You don't use grease. You just stick it in your cast iron skillet and fry it. It's not like you deep fry it. I can't with you, Howard. I just can't. I just can't.
Put
a half a gallon of grease in that thing for one slice of bologna.
Oh my Lord, you just take the wheel.
Don't you guys use lard out that way?
I mean,
Might be in Indiana. It might be an Indiana thing. Down here we use grease.
which is
Cooking
the
oil.
same thing, Howard.
Cooking oil. Cooking oil.
Oh Lord.
Vegetable, canola, peanut, sesame
Avocado.
seed,
Austin's
avocado.
allergic to peanuts. We use canola oil
olive.
or olive oil. How much grease would you use, Heather? You don't use much grease for bologna.
I wouldn't even cook bologna, so don't even.
Oh, shit.
She says, I don't do bologna. Oh, Lord.
That's a luxury food around here.
Mm-hmm.
That and Vienna sausages.
Ooh, those are gross.
Yeah, I know. I tried to make a chicken out of one year.
A chicken? How are you going to make a chicken out of Vienna
You
sausages?
just stick them together with toothpaste.
Listen. No.
Put it
How
in the
about
oven, bake it.
no?
The bones, you ain't got to worry about no bones.
No.
No?
No.
Saying it's okay.
Oh my goodness. So is there a website for the foundation that you're over, or
Yeah, it's WarrenLegacyFoundation.com. And
Okay.
then my team also has a website, which is explorationparanormal.com.
okay. And then do you get a lot of people that reach out to you on both of those like on a daily basis, or just it's a crapshoot, or?
Oh, our website's a crapshoot, just because I never don't maintain it as well as I should, and I don't do as much as I should to drive people to it.
Sure.
But a lot of people do Google search Ed Warren, and when they do that, our website usually comes up.
Got you. So how do you handle people who question the paranormal? Are you the person who will even discuss it, or do you just let them have their thoughts and opinions and just don't even entertain a conversation?
I always tell those that don't believe in the paranormal that there's nothing better in this field than turning a skeptic into a believer, or watching the non-believer have their first experience. Because I did that with my husband, and we still laugh about it today.
Oh, tell us about it. What happened? What was his first experience?
We had lived in an apartment, and the apartment complex was built over a former orange grove. And we had a spirit in there. I called him George. And I would see him dart from the front door into my son's bedroom, which was right by the front door. Never really felt threatened, but he was a tall, elderly man with work boots on and overalls, but no shirt, which is what a majority of the people who work the farms in Florida wore. And I would also see him just kind of wandering around the apartment here and there. We would have smoke, cigar smoke. And I went outside to check to make sure nobody was smoking a cigar anywhere nearby, because I was going to ask them to please step away from my window. There was nothing. And the minute I would say, dang it, George, I don't allow smoking in the apartment, it went away instantly. There was no slow dissipation of the smoke. It was just instantly gone. And I always would say that I would feel him bump into the bed, or I would feel like someone was rubbing my leg at night when I was trying to sleep. And one night we were laying in bed, I was reading, my husband was watching TV, and it felt like, how when you misjudge the edge of the bed and you run into the bed with your shin?
Uh-huh.
It felt like someone did that while we were sitting in bed. He turned white, grabbed onto the bed. What was that? I'm like, oh, that was George.
He didn't question George no more, did he?
No, and even though he's still a little skeptical, he's had some other experiences with me doing investigations and other things that he couldn't explain happened to him that has kind of turned him into a little bit more of a believer.
Sure. And that's amazing when that happens.
Yeah. But there's no use arguing with people.
Right.
Over it. It's just like I just tell them, hey, one day you're gonna be calling me to come help you.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all two just need to talk, because now we're getting onto the freaky side of Dr. Landon now.
What?
Talking about, I don't know, threesomes in the bedroom with the ghosts and stuff like that.
Listen, there was nothing intimate about that conversation at all.
No.
The thing was rubbing her leg.
But no one else was in bed with me, so
Howard.
He didn't bother me when my husband was in bed. He knew better.
So he only flirted with you when your husband wasn't there. That's awesome.
It was only on my calf. Jeez.
Oh, a courtesy ghost. Oh, that's funny. Oh, too funny. Howard. Oh, stop it.
It wasn't like an incubus or something like that, maybe? Or...
Oh, my Lord.
No, just friendly.
She said it was an old farmer.
He probably confused me with his wife.
John Wayne Gacy was a clown.
Yeah, the clown's creepy.
He was a clown in life, not in death, Goober. There's a difference.
Gacy was a serial killer.
I know he was a serial killer. He buried him in the crawl space of his house. Wasn't he the first one that they put on death row and they televised? I believe he was. I believe he was the very first televised person to be executed on TV.
Did not know.
I think. I'm 99.9% sure. Because I think WGN Channel 4 out of Chicago is the one who aired it.
If anyone aired it, it would have been WGN. I grew up just outside of Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah. Just saying.
Well,
Okay.
I've got a friend of mine you probably know, and he he actually worked with Ed and Lorraine, Carl Johnson,
Name's familiar.
demonologist.
Hmm.
He's been on like Sci-Fi Channel. He was at the Conjuring House first, and then they called, and that's when Ed and Lorraine came into the Conjuring House. And he worked with them at Amityville, at that place. And of course, all the stuff like that. So, yeah, he's been doing it for 40 plus years.
Hmm.
That's my mentor. So I'm a demonologist also, and that's who if I got questions about it, boom, I'm right there with him. I mean, I'll call him. Fortunately, I haven't. It's very rare that you see something like that, a possession, or or something that you need to exercise. Especially during COVID. I mean,
Right. Yeah, I've been
people,
lucky enough not to come into any of those cases. So I've had the gentle ones.
well, during COVID, I mean, you got these people that they're locked up all day. You was locked up, and what was going to do? And the first thing your mind starts wandering, and it's all figments of your imagination, or it's actually going crazy. It could be anything. You have to ask them a bunch of questions before you can even think about doing an investigation.
Hmm.
You know,
I think during
happening in their
COVID, the
home.
reason why there was an uptick in activity was because people were home and finally seeing the activity.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. They were stuck there. So they weren't going out places. They weren't at work. They weren't, going on vacations or weekend getaways. They were stuck in the house.
I've had people contact me. I got the devil in my bedroom. I said, well, give your wife a freaking credit card. You leave.
Lord. Lord.
Or your husband. It could be either way.
Listen.
Just saying.
Oh, Lord. I can't.
I mean, I've had people send me stuff. You see this reflection in this Coke bottle. It looks demonic. Well, for one thing, it's your reflection in the Coke bottle.
Are you a demon? Is there something you need to tell me? Do we need to have a come to Jesus moment?
But when people send you stuff like that, they're 100% dead set that that's what's in that bottle.
Yeah.
And if you don't give them the answer they want, they argue with you. And then they go find another team to send it to because they keep fishing to get the answer they want. And
Right.
that's just because everybody wants to have the latest and greatest evidence. And I blame that on the TV shows.
Oh, that's a good topic right there. We've discussed that, a lot of the paranormal shows, while can be beneficial and teach you some things, most of them are for entertainment purposes. And a true investigation typically is not like you see on any of these television shows.
And what people don't realize is that for that hour show, which probably is only about 40 minutes of actual show, by the time you add the commercials, they're there for 1 to 2 weeks.
Yep.
Right.
And some of the evidence that they share is not their evidence. It's evidence that they've collected from teams who have gotten evidence.
Right.
And they've gotten permission to use it, but they don't say that it's from a team. They, feed it into what they're doing.
I mean, y'all been on investigations before. You can go into do an investigation. Somebody can say the walls are bleeding, the floors are cracked open, and Satan standing in the hallway and everything else. But you get there, and there's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But the next night, I mean, all hell breaks loose. It's just a hit and miss type of thing. You just don't know if there's actually a haunting or a a possession or anything like to that nature that's paranormal, it's not going to happen on key or on cue. It's
Right.
not going to happen when you turn your camera on and say not action. And that, it's just not going to work that way.
Right. I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1, go. No.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest part because one of my ultimate goals is to make the scientific method adaptable to the paranormal field. And it's so hard because you can't use the scientific method as is. Because when it comes to retest your experiments, you're not always guaranteed, even in science, you're not always guaranteed the same result. That's why you retest it. But you have to come up with experiments that can be retested. Mm-hmm. Because you can't do an experiment and be like, okay, I asked a ghost, what's your name? And I got this. Well, I asked him again, what's your name? And I didn't get anything. So the scientific method is fraudulent. Well, no, it's not. You got to ask the right, do the right experiments to make it work. Mm-hmm. And it also comes into play with self-manifestation. Is you can go to the same location 2 different nights in a row, but is there something different? Is there a different investigator with you that could be manifesting the activity? Is there a family member who's home that wasn't home the night before that the activity is either attached to or they're manifesting it? We investigated a museum almost monthly because that's where we held our team meetings when I was on the other team. And that's where we practiced, taught new team members how to actually investigate and do stuff like that. And we would go 1 month and we would be nonstop with activity. Then we'd go the next month and nothing.
Right.
Then 1 month we would just have EVPs. Then the next month we were being, touched. We would see the apparitions, and then we would go again another month and nothing.
Right.
And that's why when you do these, if you go to the same location over and over, that's where documenting the full moon, the weather, and all of that stuff comes into play. Because if I had known that when I was a part of this other team, we could have seen, okay, when we had all this activity, it was a full moon. And when we had no activity, it was a new moon. But that's all stuff that's lost because that was something that team didn't do.
Which makes sense. Mm-hmm. And documentation of all of that's important. That way you can cross-reference between each investigation.
Right.
Let me ask you something, and this is going off subject, and it has to do with the paranormal community. What do you think about unity and para-family and para-unity in the paranormal community, right, as of right now?
You want my honest opinion, or
Yes.
Yeah.
It's tough because I do feel that as a paranormal community, we do need to band together in the aspect of we need to share evidence, we need to share haunted locations, and we need to not be stingy with what we know. We can't educate the next, generation of paranormal researchers if we, don't share our information. One thing that was the biggest problem in Nevada is there were groups out there that would tell locations, we're the only team that can investigate, and no other team was allowed in. Or they were constantly saying, we have all these great locations, but no, you can't know where they're at, and no, you can't hear my evidence. I'm not going to share anything. It was very, and I hear that is from more people that it's not just Nevada, but it seemed more prevalent in Nevada because here in Florida, everybody's sharing everything with everyone. And but when it comes to actual, I'm going to accept you just because you say you're a paranormal researcher, you need to prove to me first that you deserve to be a researcher. Right. You can't just pick up a digital voice recorder and say, I'm an investigator now, and expect everyone in the paranormal field to include you as para-unity. We may still take you under our wing and show you how it should be done, but until you, prove yourself, it's just not an automatic thing. And all these people who are crying para-unity, they're the first ones running out there, not sharing their, you ask them to share their evidence, they're like, no, it's my evidence.
Right.
Well, then why are you crying para-unity? You're not the one being very unified.
I agree with you. I'm asking because there's a lot of BS right now
Mhm.
that I'm seeing in the paranormal field, and a lot of it's competition, which I don't like. Why have competition? Competition is it's fine when you're doing something else, but in this field, you want to share your evidence. You want to be able to bring other teams. You want to be able to, you know,
Mhm.
do everything possible to let people know that share your locations, and you want that's what we're doing. We're trying to prove something that's unproven. I mean, we've proven it, but it has to be substantiated.
We need that
Um,
scientific data to back it up. And we're never
right,
going to get that if we don't, doctors share information about cases. They don't always share the client's name, but they share information, the person's
right,
age, their medical history. They share a whole bunch of stuff.
right.
Physicists, chemists, they share data. Why is it this field that they're not? And I, again, go back to blaming the TV shows. And we are working on a couple different projects, including a few different things that may involve, not so much TV shows, but documentaries down the road in the aspect of teaching people the right way to do investigations or what the paranormal really is, because there's so much competition in this field, and there shouldn't be, that people are faking evidence, people are lying, people are, it's cutthroat, and this field shouldn't be that way. We're never going to get anywhere
But that's
if
what I
we're
don't
like,
understand. It's cutthroat and everything. Why is it cutthroat? I don't get paid to do this.
right,
I do this because I love doing it.
right.
I mean, why is it cut? That's what I don't understand. Where's it? Where's because you caught? Hey, hey, can I see it? I'd
Right.
love to see it. I mean, show me your evidence. You
Mhm.
know, don't
Yeah,
hide it from the world.
it's because they want to hold on to their evidence to share to the television shows, but yet they don't realize that once they share their evidence with the TV show, that the TV network will send their own team in to investigate, and they will have this person sign a release, and within that release in the fine print, it says that they can no longer disclose that that's their evidence, and they're going to use it in the TV show. It's cutthroat because everyone wants to be the next latest and greatest, Zach Bagans. And what's funny is I didn't get into this field to get on TV or even to get the exposure that I get now. I got into this field to help people, to get answers myself, and to continue with writing because I've been a freelance writer for many years, and it was just natural for me to write about haunted locations. But so many people want to fight to get on TV. And I tell everyone, just do what you're doing. Do it the right way. Be respectable. Support other teams. Help educate people. The proper way to do it. And the networks are going to come to you. And that's the TV pilot I filmed, as well as the two documentaries we were in. They came to us. We never went out. We didn't fill out, like the haunting or a haunting and haunted hospitals. They have online applications that you can fill out to get on their TV show. We never did any of that. They found us on Facebook and YouTube, and they came to us.
That's why I do what I do. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
if I was looking to do that, want to be on television and all that stuff, I would do this more professional.
Mm-hmm.
I would sit down and the shows would be more paranormal based than what they
Mm-hmm.
are. But I'm not looking for that.
Right.
I'm doing this because I like it and other people like watching it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I'll get on here and I'll get raunchy. I'll get stupid. I mean, I don't know. I'll sit here and clip toenails if I got to. I mean, just because I like to doing it. I mean, I'm going to do it because I want to do it. And if you want to watch me do it, knock yourself out. I mean, I'm happy to have you.
Right, and that's the whole
You know,
point behind it. It's you got to have fun, because if you don't, because even though my shows that I've done aren't NC-17 like yours is, but we do we do it to educate the public, and we do it because we enjoy it. It's like one of our guests, or not one of our guests, but Joe Frankie. He's one of our board directors for the Warren Legacy Foundation, and he worked side by side with Ed and Lorraine Warren since he was 18. And he was having internet issues one night, and he kept freezing. And we even got the audience started doing it too. But every time he froze, we'd be like, "Damn it, Joe!" Because he didn't know the sentence. And that's like, and then you, and Joe, audience members were like, Joe, every time, we still because of
Oh, she's having a little internet problem. Maybe she'll come back in.
You froze, Heather.
You froze up.
Like,
hey,
you say she has an internet problem. I'm like, I do?
You jinxed yourself.
You started talking about Joe and him freezing, and then you froze.
But so we laugh and have fun. It's like, what was it I said? Chris he gave me a dirty look one night because we were talking about Annabelle and how nobody would want to challenge her. I'm like, really, Chris? You don't want to do rock paper scissors with Annabelle? So I try to laughen things up because things, this field doesn't need to be so serious.
Right.
But yet it does still need to be serious. It needs to be serious at the right time.
I mean, I've watched shows when Heather. I mean, I've seen a show where, when I first started watching, I was getting back into the paranormal field, and this guy got on. I forgot whose show it was, but he was on there and he was talking about the K2. We were talking about equipment, and it was K2. He said, "This is the K2. There's many lights above the top. This is what it." And 10 minutes into it, I was almost falling asleep. Hell, John Doherty fell asleep on his own show. He had a show. He fell asleep. It was so boring. Okay. So, I mean, I said, no. I said, I can't do this. I can't do this. I want to do a show where it's fun. Because I think if you get people to like and laugh, then they're waiting to hear that next sarcasm or that next bit of raunchiness or something. But during that time, I can teach them something.
Mm-hmm.
There's something to be learned.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're listening because they're waiting for that next little craziness to come out. But when I did this, I had the idea that I wanted to have my shows to be, instead of that bull dragged out information constantly throwing it at you, I said, let's do it like, I don't know, Jerry Springer, Maury Povich, and the Paranormal had a baby. And there it was, the Petri dish.
And everybody learns differently. Some people learn better through just the slideshows. Others learn from jokes and laughter. It's just, there needs to be shows that attract and appeal to different people.
Right.
Because I don't watch many of I don't even watch my own show once it airs. But I see a difference when I see some other shows that everybody has different viewers. And even though a lot of us cross-stream to the same network, we still all have different viewers. And It just goes to show that, the people who watch your show might not get benefits from watching any of my shows, and vice versa. But they're still getting the information because they're at least watching one of the shows.
Right. And even though you don't watch my show, I watch yours.
I did a while back, but then you disappeared for a while. That's what you get for disappearing.
I went with it, and that was the biggest. But look, I came back. I'm a network, a co-owner in the network now.
Mm-hmm.
So, having fun, doing what I want to do. Make up the topics.
That's all that matters.
I mean, right now, I got so many freaking things going on. I haven't even gotten I had spot open. I said, well, I seen Heather. She ain't doing the show. I guess I said, well, hey, I'm gonna go Heather. See, she wants to come on. Tomorrow night. Heather, you want to come on? Yeah, okay. We made it up. Hey, there's a show.
Yeah. You caught me at perfect timing because I was between my agent and the publisher that I work with. I had 2 days ago, I was on the phone and checking emails, and I ended up scheduling 25 podcasts, at least 10 radio interviews, and a couple newspaper interviews. And I kept telling people, look, from July 18th through the middle of August, I'm completely unavailable because I have knee replacement surgery on July 18th. And I've been turning people away who've been asking me to be on their podcast just because of the book coming out. So when you messaged me, I was like, oh, perfect timing. And then like 4 other people were like, oh, you're not having a show? Will you be on mine? I'm like, nope, sorry, already booked.
Just like right now, I mean, I want to get back. I got to get back into my foundation work. I got my own foundation. And I don't know if you've heard about that. I mean,
I've seen it. I just can't remember the name of it off the top of my head.
It's named after my daughter's Jessica Marie Petrie Foundation. And we help pregnant women who are suffering from perinatal, prenatal, postpartum depression, and mental illnesses. And I'm involved in a whole bunch of organizations with that. Then I got, of course, the shows that I'm trying to, the podcast, and then we're doing the investigations and research and all that stuff. And it takes a lot out of you. It does. It takes a lot out of you. And I mean, I got into the point where, like, I'm doing 3 of these now, and I'm running out of ideas, because I got told that I don't have a idea 1 in my body. I don't come up. I steal material from other people. So I said, oh, okay. So I mean, I had a couple of weeks ago. We had a Mrs. Bigfoot on. I mean, we had that. We had a whole bunch of, like, this week. Tomorrow night we have Chris Harmon coming on for the Petri Dish. And he's a paranormal investigator, but he was also a wrestling referee and a pro wrestler referee. And I've had him on before. And then for the Unholy Trinity, last week we did a review of the movie Big Ass Spider, which I like. And this week it's going to be what to eat and what not to eat before going on in an investigation.
That's actually a good topic because you don't want your stomach growling.
Or gas, or having to run to the bathroom.
Oh, I've destroyed many toilets. Investigations. Oh,
well, you gotta be careful. Bathrooms are haunted. My son and I know on an investigation.
That's why I'm called the water boy. I'm an aquatic entity demonologist.
Oh Lord, I know. We were at the Monroe house, my team and I, and the bathroom is known to be haunted there. It messes with you even when you're not using the restroom, right? I couldn't wait, and I couldn't make it to the gas station. So I told one of my team members, Corey, I said, listen, I need you to stand at this door. I'm not going to lock it. And if I scream, come in and yank me off the toilet. I don't care if you see my butt. I just don't want to be attacked. And of course, he's cracking up. he's like, okay, Christy, I'll be ready. Now, granted, nothing grabbed me off the toilet. But, I mean, the curtain to the bathtub was moving. And you saw a shadow go across.
It's called gas. You had gas. It escaped. It hit the what?
I was peeing. I was not.
It's like hurricane wind.
No, there isn't even a vent in there. I promise you, there's not even a window.
That's coming out of your butthole.
I wasn't pooping. I was peeing.
Could have slipped.
Oh, it did not slip. Oh, Lord.
Just saying. It
I'm
happens.
just saying.
It happens.
I'm just saying.
Could have had some Taco Bell. Went in there and messed
No, I never do Taco Bell while I'm investigating. No. I don't even do Taco Bell while out and about. We have to be at home for me to eat Taco Bell. Period. That's just the way it is. Because that food messes my stomach up every time. It don't matter what I eat. I could eat just a plain chicken taco. It messes my stomach up. So, yeah, no. You gotta have the proper food and the proper snacks to be on an investigation, especially if it's going to be like a 6 or 8
We're
hour
going to discuss
investigation.
this on the Unholy Trinity.
What?
We're going to discuss this on the Unholy Trinity.
I can't wait.
You didn't see the banner? I made the banner up
Yes,
already.
I hearted the banner. I did. I hearted all 3 banners for all 3 shows.
Restaurants on there. I got
Yeah.
Burger King and Taco Bell and McDonald's, Wendy's,
Listen.
Cracker Barrel. I got
When I was
Waffle House.
I'm gonna tell you what. I used to be a Burger King fan, but when we were in Pennsylvania, that ruined me from Burger King because the Burger Kings in Pennsylvania are disgusting. The food does not taste the same that it does in any other state at their Burger Kings. And every corner in Pennsylvania has a Burger King. It's like McDonald's here. Everywhere you turn, you can find a McDonald's. In Pennsylvania, it's Burger King.
You got
Everywhere
Waffle
you turn,
Houses everywhere.
and see, I'm okay with Waffle House, but I won't do Burger King in Pennsylvania ever again. I just went, and it wasn't just me; it was Jason and Austin. It was gross. It was gross. It ruined me. Just saying. I mean, it's a good thing we went to a movie theater and not anywhere else because I'd have been in trouble if I couldn't have got to a bathroom. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
What did you watch? The Exorcist?
Sonic 2. The new Sonic that came out.
See, that's perfect because that little dude running across the screen, you can actually go.
That was me. Boom. Don't eat all the popcorn, Jason. I'll be back. Oh, goodness.
Oh, but I mean, that's like what you were saying about the everybody wants to be a TV star. I've done that.
Mhm.
Done it. And I met a lot of people. I mean, I'm not talking about Zach Baggins. You know, I ain't worried about Zach Baggins. I mean, he's nothing to me. I met real actors, you know, Hollywood people. And they're believe it or not, they're no better than anybody else. They just want to be people, you know, just because that's their work, you know, and that's what they do.
But for some reason, in the paranormal field, it's different.
It is.
It's the if not all of them, because I have met several of the paranormal TV stars outside of the conventions and know some of them as well. But there are some, you know, that are just complete total buttholes. You know, they're just as big of an ass as they are off camera as they are on camera.
That's sad. That is sad.
And
I mean, why do they want to be that way?
Right.
Why would, you know, there's no need for it.
It's the field. It's honestly the field. It's, you know, you can go from one team to another and have one team that's very caring and nice, and then the next team just a complete bunch of jerks.
Yeah, what do you got?
Howard. Quit yelling at her.
Yells at me. Y'all don't know, man. Y'all just don't know. That woman beats my ass at night. Literally.
Because you asked her to.
No, she's got that restless leg syndrome.
Yeah.
Get kicked all night long.
You'll live. You're up, my slave.
She sleepwalks now. She sleep eats.
Yeah.
She blames me for it.
For her sleepwalking?
And the big one?
She wants to get out of the bed.
That ain't gonna be shit. All right.
What?
She bought me some ice cream.
Oh, yeah? What flavor?
Chocolate chip cookie dough.
Oh. That's good.
Yeah, my diabetes will be nice and high tomorrow.
Not that you need it. Trying to get that A1C down, Howard.
I want to get it down. I want to try to get it to like 900 this time.
Oh, my Lord Jesus, take the wheel. Stop it.
Switch to Talente. It's really good.
What? Talente?
Talente? Yeah.
What was that?
Make sure I'm getting the name right.
Is that medication or are you talking about sugar?
No, it's ice cream. It's gelato.
Oh, gelato.
And it's also low in sugar, but they have everything from cookies and cream to salted caramel taffy to you name it, they have it.
They got a frozen yogurt shop right there too, or not too. And this pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I like
You don't
that.
have to get. You ain't got to get that with the one with the sugar in it. What's that for? I gotta watch her.
Side note, we're all watching you talk to Jackie. Oh my Lord.
You need to go do a show with them, Heather. Because Chrissy, schedule it up, lock it up.
Oh, with Hey Boo?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so on Sundays Jackie and I and Ane do a show that's called Hey Boo, and it's women of the paranormal field.
Okay.
Different topics. And it's very laid back, no shenanigans like Howard's shows. But it's just women of the paranormal field discussing things within the field, locations, how they investigate, special experiences, things like that. So yeah, we'll definitely have to get with you and get you on the show. And it's on Sundays.
Okay.
So you don't have a show on that day, do you?
No, I just have a couple interviews coming up the next couple Sundays.
Okay.
This is like what, 7 o'clock Eastern? 7 o'clock Eastern.
Okay.
Yeah.
6 Central, 7 Eastern.
Okay.
So
I'm usually available by then.
And I made that show.
he did. He did.
It was for women. It was by women for women.
You missed it though, Heather.
He
came on the show one time filling in, and he wore a wig. He was talking like a girl. He was Henrietta, Howard's twin. Oh, it was so funny. I mean, he couldn't keep a straight face.
I did.
Oh,
I was all into it too.
until it got too hot and had to take the wig off.
It did get hot.
Oh, that was classic though.
Some pretty hair though, man.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Henrietta was very fun.
I was flirting and everything.
Oh. Facebook user, we can't see who you are, but hey. Chad, what are you talking about? You feel sorry for Jason? What do you mean you feel sorry for him? Ain't nothing wrong with Jason. Whoever it is saying, how's married life, Howard? Oh, my Lord. Hey, come smack Howard. Oh, goodness gracious.
Y'all still. Greg, it's right. How you doing, Greg? Greg Koss.
Gotcha.
Hey, Greg.
Hi, Greg. Hi, Irene. Irene is tuning in from Japan, Heather. She's an avid follower and participation of most of our shows.
I'm going to send it your way now. Irene Takora, go watch Dr. Landon shows on Wednesday nights at the same time. So you're going to have to get 2 screens up at one time to watch both shows.
And Exploring the Paranormal airs 2 hours earlier because I go live for 4 hours every other Wednesday.
Oh, wow.
4 hours? Wow. 4 hours.
Yeah.
That ain't nothing.
Sometimes I cut my show short.
Unless it's the middle of the night and we all get tired and I fall asleep. We did a live panel and I fell asleep during it. I'm just saying. Started snoring.
Yeah.
I was tired.
Doing a live, we was doing an investigation. It was a live panel investigation. I'm on there. Chrissy's on there. Chad was on there. Chad disappears later on in the show. He just disappeared. So it's Chrissy, and we're doing the Sally House, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's Kyle Wagner who's doing the Sally House, and we're just following it. And we're just watching it. And all of a sudden, her screen just goes dark. You know, she's got the little logo on my side. I said, okay. So I'm listening, and he says, I'm going to move the dolls out of Sally's room and see what kind of reaction we get. That sounds good. So he's moving dolls, and I'm hearing, and that was a growl. Wait a minute. Hold on. That's a growl. It's a growl. And I'm thinking there's something going on. And I kept hearing it. And I said, it's Christy. She's over there sneezing, snoring, sleeping her ass off. I'm doing a live panel investigation. So I let her sleep. I thought I had a demon on audio, man. That's like a growl.
Oh, it was bad. I woke up sitting straight up in this chair.
That's bad when you have to debunk your own evidence, man. God.
Oh,
I thought I had something. Sally House, demonic, and all that stuff. Yeah, okay. And they were trying to prove that it wasn't. There's no such person as Sally, and all kind of stuff going. It was a good investigation, and I thought I captured the demon.
Yeah, no.
But some of these teams out there would have been like, listen to this demon. Even after discovering what it was.
Oh, I can see Howard printing shirts, the demon of the Sally House, and making me wear it.
Or I'm with the demon from the Sally House with an arrow.
Oh, goodness. Oh, never
We're giving
know.
him ideas.
That's it. Just encourage him. Oh, hi, Josh.
Oh, hello, Josh.
Y'all need to follow the doctor here and her shows and her podcast and her website.
She comes on every. Dr. Landon, would you tell us your dates and times and where they can find you, and we can also promote your book a little bit more too?
Okay. The shows that I host, they air opposite weeks. What would have been this week would have been Exploring the Paranormal at 7 p.m. Eastern. Then we have Ghost Education 101 that I co-host with Philip Wyatt, and that is 9 Eastern. And then on the opposite Wednesdays at 8 Eastern, I host the Warren Files with Chris McKinnell and other members from the Warren Legacy Foundation. You can find me on Facebook at Dr. Heather Leigh. Of course, I also have Exploration Paranormal, Exploring the Paranormal podcast, and Ghost Education 101, and then Warren Legacy Foundation are all on Facebook. And the book I have is Haunted Southern Nevada Ghost Towns. That's coming out August 22nd. And then something we touched a little bit on earlier, but I do have those 2 books that I just signed contracts for. It's they changed the title on me recently. Hold on. Legends, Lore, and Ghost of the Vegas Valley. So that's going to include all the ghosts surrounding Las Vegas, Henderson, Boulder City, the old Bonnie Springs Ranch, and Red Rock Canyon out that way. And then Haunted Florida Lighthouses. And those will be coming out August of next year.
Haunted Florida Lighthouses. So you're going to be doing a St. Augustine one?
Mm-hmm. Yep, St. Augustine, Key West Lighthouse. There's actually a lighthouse in Mount Dora, which is inland, and it's just this cute little decorative lighthouse on the lake, but it's haunted. So that's going to be in the book as well. And then it's not really a lighthouse that you can go into, but it's one of those old metal lighthouses that is out on one of the islands just off of St. Petersburg. So, but those are just the highlights so far. But I have lighthouses all over the place. And then I'm also currently researching Florida ghost towns, and then Nevada mines, haunted Nevada mines as well. that I hope
Bermuda
to have
Triangle.
next year.
Bermuda Triangle. Bermuda Triangle.
I'm working through my list as fast as I can.
Well, you're only one person.
But with my knee surgery, I'll be in bed for about a month, so I'm going to get a lot done that time.
I was gonna say
There you
you
go.
do a lot of reading and investigating and setting up what experiments you're gonna do at each location. And girl,
Yep.
you're gonna have it all mapped out.
It's going to be all planned out so I can hit the ground running after I'm, and the hardest part was I was supposed to go on a book tour, and we were going to do several events out in Nevada in October, but that all had to get changed because of my knee surgery. So we're going to be doing that now in the spring. I'll be going out there.
Fun.
Next year.
Yeah, next year. Yeah, we're looking at April because there's it's called McCaw School of Mines. It's a children's museum that educates children about mining. And they have an above ground simulated mine that was built by the same guy who built the Indiana Jones display at Disney.
Oh wow.
And that particular location, I used to volunteer there. And I discovered they would always laugh at me. And, I'd be like, hey, can I go? There's nobody here. Can I go back there and do, some EVP sessions? They're like, yeah, sure, go ahead. And a couple of the other volunteers would go with me. And we would have fun. So we're going to host an event there as a fundraiser for them and to do a book signing. Then we're also going to head up to, there's a couple other locations in Vegas that we're going to be doing a few events. We're just trying to secure the locations before we announce it. Then we're going to go up to Goldfield, and we're in the process of setting up an event at the Goldfield High School, as well as at the Florence Mine.
Wow.
And so we're hoping to include that all in like a 1 month to a month and a half book tour for me, along with different events. And I know for some of the events, I'm not sure who's going to be joining me, but it's either going to be through Flumery. It's either going to be Brandon Alvis, Daryl Marston, or possibly Mustafa might be joining me as well.
Mustafa. I like Mustafa. He loves my gumbo.
Yeah, they're all great guys. I mean, Ray asked me who I wanted to join me on any of these. I'm like, I don't care. Anybody.
And don't forget next October. Don't forget next October. We're going to try to get this thing done.
Definitely. Yep.
We'll try to push this through.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, that's tourism for New Orleans anyway, so they'll love it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I even get a
good advertisement for your books.
Yeah, exactly.
Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know Chris McKinnell's actually flying in from Peru because he's in Peru right now for Phantasm in Orlando in August. So I'll be hobbling with them. Bill Slevin, who's also one of our regional directors, we're all doing a panel discussion. Chris wrote the foreword to my book, but unfortunately, the convention's the day before my book gets released, and I cannot sell it. But we are going to be taking pre-orders, and both Chris and I will sign the book since, he'll be there. And then we're going to be doing something else in Virginia where Chris and I will be available to sign the book as well. And that's going to be a rare thing because Chris is usually out of the country.
Nice.
What's he doing in Peru?
He likes to travel. He's down there right now. I think he's doing a 2-week bus tour next to go to Machu Picchu.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So
I'd love to go to that.
In between doing foundation work, he travels and he learns the different customs and the different paranormal customs of all the different countries he visits. And then he also, lets other people know about the foundation, and he's actually picked up a couple cases in these other countries.
Nice.
Harry, thank you, Joshua. And Irene, how are you going to Pennsylvania for Para-Unity Day in September? I doubt it. I doubt it very seriously. Had a big wedding that we just did. It cost me a small chunk of change. Now I got a new grandchild. That's costing me, going to be costing me some change. And I still haven't done nothing around my house since Hurricane Ida. I was going to be busy. I mean, especially with this 100-something degree weather, you get out there and you just start melting. We ain't going to get no lighting up till next week, Monday. We get a 60% chance of rain Monday. Yay!
I'd be happy.
It's been raining nonstop here.
It is. It's nonstop. Then now I want to just some more foundation work started because I'm trying to actually instead of just doing it in my state, I'm going to go nationwide with this thing. I've had people from other countries already ask me if I would be interested in putting my foundation out in other countries, and I'm like, well, let's get it started. You know, I already got everything done. I just got to get it rolling. So that's what I'm trying to do now with the sponsorships and all that stuff and getting an endorsements. I've gotten endorsements all over the place. Just getting it done.
Mhm.
And this is wedding and everything else is just taking a lot from me. So now I'm
It's all
getting back
baby
into
steps.
yeah.
Put Chrissy to work while she was down there. Listen, we were so busy with wedding stuff and sightseeing. It seemed like we didn't have time to do anything, really. There was a ton of things we wanted to go see and do together, all of us, and there was no time.
Oh. Especially when that Coke bottle flew out, when that Gatorade bottle, whatever, flew out of the restaurant.
Listen, Heather, they took me to the
The
French
French Quarter.
And listen, it was hot, okay? I'm an Indiana girl, okay? So I am not really used to the humidity level down there. So when we finally did stop at one of the corner grocery stores, I bought one drink to drink, and then I bought a bottled water that I shoved between my boobs to cool me down because I was so hot. Well, then when we got to the lakefront area and sat down to take a break, which is his bride
Mississippi River.
his bride to be was beside me. My boyfriend was on the other side of me, and I went to sit down. And when I did, the the bottle of water just shot out and about hit Jackie in the face. But I mean, it served its purpose. It kept me cooler than what I had been. I'm just saying. Now I know when I go sightseeing that I'm supposed to freeze some bottled water to stick everywhere where I need to cool down because it was so hot. Oh my gosh.
That wasn't the funny part. That wasn't the funny part. It flying out of her breast. It was the people standing out there looking up and they were going, ooh. Like fireworks going off, you know? Like
Kept me cool.
I
That's
think
all
the
that
same thing
matters.
with bottled water, though. So it's not only a great place to hold it.
Exactly. Howard took a picture of me just so everybody could see that I had it between my boobs. I didn't care. I was too hot. I didn't care.
we took many pictures in that French
Fun
Quarter that day.
times. Oh,
And
fun times.
videos.
Yeah. Yeah. We did.
Well, what's his name? Gabe Herrera. He put all the pictures and everything together. And also with all the videos and everything. He made I think it's like a 20-minute movie clip or whatever of the wedding.
Did he? I haven't seen that. Did you guys not post that or?
Not yet. We haven't posted it. He just
Okay.
sent it a little while back, about a week ago.
Yeah.
We was also on baby watch, so I mean it's been
Right.
She sleeps, and when she goes to work, then I go to sleep, and then
Right.
one of us is always manning the phone, just to be
Right.
on the safe side.
But now baby's born, so
Now we get grandson tomorrow.
yeah. Fun times. Look at that look on his face.
Oh, he'll be on the petri dish tomorrow night.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah, he's 4 years old. He got a worse mouth than me. No, I'm joking. He loves his football.
I was doing it was Ghost Education 101, and I was downstairs because we're in a townhouse, and we had just had our water bottles delivered from Culligan, and they were at the bottom of the stairs, and I don't know exactly what my husband and my son were doing, but all of a sudden I hear this and like almost like a bowling ball roll into the bottles of water at the bottom of the stairs, And then I hear my son go, "Why do you have to be such an asshole?" And it was loud as can be that they heard it. And I was like on the other side of the downstairs. I'm like, my guest starts dying laughing. I'm like, "Oh my God, you heard that?"
Oops.
Whoopsie.
I'm
Oh,
like,
Lord.
"Oh."
That's funny.
And he's funny because he's like, I know I don't want to be on any of the shows, even though he does investigations with us. He's like, don't invite me on any of your shows. I'm fine. But yet I tease him because I'm like, you made an appearance on my show.
Oh, that's funny. Too
All right.
funny.
We're at 10:08. See what happens when time just flies.
Oh,
when
is
you're
it that
having
late
fun?
already?
I
Yeah.
could have.
Oh.
We could have just made a couple of baked bologna sandwiches. And
It's
we'd been
fried
happy.
bologna, sir. Fried.
Dr. Landon don't give a shit because she says she don't eat bologna.
I'll make a baked salmon sandwich.
Oh, Lord, that's funny.
I'll just stick with the bologna. The thick cut. It's only $1 a pack.
Oh, shoot.
Well, thank you very much for coming on tonight. We appreciate it so very much. It was fun, very informative. I've learned a lot tonight from you, especially with the foundation and the work that you're doing and the books that I thought it was just one book, and you are throwing about 7 or 8 of them out. You're throwing an encyclopedia instead of that. I mean, it's like,
Those are only the books I have under contract. No.
Oh, Lord.
but no, thank you so very much for coming on and sharing. Because this is the first time I actually had a chance to even speak with you.
Yeah.
You know, face to face, doing any type of work. So this was actually fun for me. So, and it's good to have it, and to have to promote you and your shows and stuff like that, and just promoting within our family, our Paralink family. I mean, that's what I strive for anyway.
Exactly.
But if you ever want to come back on, hopefully we'll get you with Hey Boo over there, and
Definitely.
that I think that would be a great, because I think they got the Ghost Girls on it. July 3rd, I think I was doing Ghost Girls. Got her name.
Just let me know because my surgery is the 18th of July, and then I know for at least 2 weeks I won't be up to doing much virtually. But
Jack,
after
you got
that,
anybody
I
for the
might be
show
able
this
to do
week?
it.
You want to do this week?
Sunday?
She's pulling up her calendar.
Come on, catch up.
I don't think they have anybody this week.
What time is it?
6 Central, 7 Eastern.
Yep, I have an interview for a show at 10 o'clock, my time, so I could do that.
I think it's only an hour.
Yeah,
They only have an hour show.
it's only an hour show.
Yep, that's no problem.
Perfect.
I'll do up the posters for that and have you send it to you. That way you can have it, and y'all can talk girl stuff.
We'll talk about Howard.
We'll talk about water between her.
That's right. It was paranormal. The ghost made it shoot out my boobs.
It wasn't that. I mean, it was an
At least it
explosion.
wasn't that demonic Coke bottle that one person had.
There was an explosion after the fact. Boom. People thought it was raining at one point. But I mean,
oh goodness.
no,
Thanks
it's
for
not
joining
raining.
us, though, Heather. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you on Sunday.
Thank you. Sounds really good. Thank you guys for having me on tonight.
Thank you, Doc.
Bye.